Hello, and welcome to Addicted Like Us, a podcast discussing all things written by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I'm your host, Haley, and today I have with me Sarah, aka Words with Sarah, to talk about Ricochet Book 2 in the Addicted series. So quick recap, in case you're just jumping in from here instead of listening to the first podcast. I'm Haley, and I am a longtime reader and lover of Krista and Becca's work. I'm also a part-time illustrator, and I've had the privilege of working on the special edition covers for the Like Us series. And now I just love to spend my time talking about all my favorite books, aka anything written by Krista and Becca. So the Addicted Like Us podcast was created so that I can sit down with friends and discuss all of our thoughts on all of these books. So now Sarah can introduce herself.
Oh gosh, I'm so when you're in college and they're like, tell us a fun fact about you, everything goes blank.
Icebreakers.
Hi, I'm Sarah. You can find me on Instagram at Words with Sarah. I'm also a contemporary romance author, so if that's your jam. You can my author name is Sarah E. Green, and I have been reading Krista and Becca since 2014, and they are some of my favorites. And the Addicted series is one of my all-time favorite series. And the moment I meet someone who hasn't read it, I'm like, we're gonna change that.
Yes. We're going to indoctrinate everybody.
Yeah, it's just wow.
Yeah. Okay, so the other thing to add is massive spoiler warning
Oh
for
yeah.
Ricochet. These podcasts are essentially like a chapter by chapter discussion going through the entire book, and there are going to be a ton of spoilers. So if you have not read Ricochet, don't listen yet.
Come back later.
Come back later after you've finished. You have been warned. So as a quick recap for Ricochet, and I forgot to do this in the Addicted to You podcast, but Addicted to You and Ricochet follow Lily Hale, who is an heiress to Fizzle, which is a soda company that is at the same level as Coke and Pepsi. And she is childhood best friends with Lauren Hale, who is the heir to Hale Co., which is a baby product company. And again, they're childhood best friends. They have their addictions, and only these two know about those addictions. They've been keeping it hidden from their parents and their family. And in Addicted to You, they finally decided they weren't going to be friends anymore. They were pretending to be dating, and now in Addicted to You, they decided they actually wanted to commit to each other, which was,
We
we
love
love that.
that.
So they decided to commit to each other, despite the fact that we were happy about that. It did cause problems in keeping their addictions a secret. And at the end of Addicted to You, their siblings all kind of figured out what was going on, or at least one of Lily's siblings and Lo's half brother, who he also met in Addicted to You, which is Reich.
We love
And
Reich.
yes, so I forgot to introduce all of the characters and who exactly they were. I just assume everyone knows who they are when I'm talking about them. We all know who each character is. So I apologize if the last podcast was a little chaotic keeping up with people and
They're
character
just
names.
our friends, so
They
it's
are.
we just assume they're real people.
I've talked about them so often with enough people
hmm
that it's like, you know who I'm talking about when I say Samantha, and you know who I'm talking about when I say Jonathan. Like, we know who all of these people are. But yeah, okay.
Maybe not.
So now we're on to Ricochet. As a sex addict, Lily Calloway must do the impossible, stay celibate for 90 days. Cravings and fantasies become her new routine, but while Lauren Hale recovers from his alcohol addiction, Lily wonders if he'll realize what a monster she really is. After all, her sexual compulsions begin to rule her life the longer she stays faithful to him. Progress. That's what Lily's striving for. But by trying to become closer to her family, people who aren't aware of her addiction, she creates larger obstacles. When she spends time with her youngest sister, she learns more about her than she ever imagined and senses an unsettling connection between Daisy and Reich Meadows. With Lily and Lo's dysfunctional relationship teetering and unbalanced, they will need to find a way to reconnect from miles apart. But the inability to touch proves to be one of the hardest tests on their road to recovery. Some love brushes the surface, some love is deeper than skin. Lily and Lo have 3 months to discover just how deep their love really goes. Okay, now we can talk about Ricochet.
Yeah.
All right, so this book starts out with Lily and Daisy at a party that Daisy has invited her to.
Hmm.
And again, Daisy doesn't know about Lily's sex addiction. She just knows that Lo is at rehab right now.
I completely forgot this scene existed. It's been a couple years since I've reread this series. I've been like rereading the Leica series more,
Yeah.
but I completely forgot about this party. And as soon as I was back in, I was like, oh wait, this did happen. Like it was like all
Oh, yeah.
coming back to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, Daisy, quit throwing the men at Lily. Stop it.
I know. It was like, I love Daisy,
I
but
did too.
there are certain things that like she is not privy to at the moment, and
Hmm.
stop that. We already suffered through the hurdle of seeing Lily with other men that weren't Low. That's something that is always
We
hard
don't
for
want
me.
that anymore.
Yeah, in Addicted to You, I don't want to see that anymore.
No.
Just
And I
stop
forgot how
trying to
young
make it
she
happen
was.
again in this book. We've hurdled that. We need to stop that.
Yes. And I forgot how young she was too, honestly.
Oh,
I was like,
I
you're
mean,
15. Like I forgot.
yeah, I think it is that whole like she is pretty worldly. She is a
She
model,
is.
and she sometimes she can act her age, and then sometimes she doesn't. And yeah, I forget how young she actually is.
Well, especially from like Lily's point of view too, because like sometimes Lily, not that Lily comes off as younger, but like Lily and like Daisy always like sometimes can feel like she's like on like Rose's level of maturity because she has so much responsibilities,
Right.
whereas like Lily is kind of just like trying to get through the day to day.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that too. So one of the things that I liked in this one is this is like Lily references that she's trying to be Lily 2.0.
I
And I
love
love
those.
that she
I
has
love
all of
it.
these different versions of herself. This is not the first time, or this is not the last time we'll hear about a certain version of Lily. And I love that she has all of these different versions. She's trying to evolve.
I love her so much, and like I like her point of view is so comforting to me. Like just being in her head, I'm like, I just like want to be your best friend. Like I just want to like hang out with you. Like I think we all can relate to Lily on some levels.
She's very she's very endearing,
Yeah.
and it's easy to like her a lot. And like the synopsis said, this is like we didn't get to see much of Daisy in
Mm.
the first book either, so this chapter also kind of helped us get to know Daisy a little more than we did, because the last book we kind of got to know Rose a little better,
Yeah.
and now Daisy feels a little more prominent. So they do the I guess it was a game where
Yeah.
they had to walk to the edge of the building and play their trivia questions. Is that where, I don't know if that was
Yeah. Yeah. Because
where
like,
my trivia questions that'll come at the end of the podcast come
oh
from?
God, I'm gonna be like Lily.
There are no building edges that you're going to be walking towards. It's
This is
much
true.
safer.
I don't know if I could handle that.
But I feel so bad because it, like, one, we're learning about Daisy in this book, but at the start of it, it's also kind of highlighting, like, how much Lily doesn't know about her younger sister.
Yeah.
And, like, she did get it, but there was still this sense of her birthday. What's my birthday? And she's like, Lily, brain, think, what's her birthday? Come on. And it's like, I don't know, maybe I'm because I have a closer relationship with my own sibling, I can spout off his birthday really fast.
Hmm.
And to see someone who's like, what's your birthday?
I've actually played like not played this exact game with my brothers, but my two youngest brothers, I'll randomly like ask for like when's my birthday? And for the longest time, my brother would say his cat's birthday because they're like 10 days apart, and I'm like, no, that's not my
That's very
birthday.
wrong.
And like, so I could see like my brothers doing that, but I felt really bad for like Lily in that moment because I'm like, oh my God, if I forgot one of my brother's birthdays, like I would feel so bad. And you can feel like her like, oh my gosh, like why don't I remember her birthday?
And like, Daisy's adding this further sense of fear of, not only do I not know like some of the answers to my sister's questions, also she's creeping towards a building edge. Like, I need to know her better. She's just gonna fall off a building
And
if I
honestly,
don't.
we can blame the stress of the game for
Yes.
Lily not remembering. It wasn't that she
Yes.
didn't actually not remember, it was that she was panicking because she didn't want
Yes.
her sister to fall.
No. And I mean, Daisy did throw her a couple of curveball questions with like, what do I want to be when I grow up? I actually don't
I don't
know.
know. I just want to get to the edge of the building faster.
Yeah, exactly. And I think also in this chapter, she's standing at the edge of the building. She goes, I am a golden god. And it's like, okay, so we're also starting to see Daisy and her like impulsive tendencies too. I think
Hmm.
Lily talks about her jumping off the roof of their house when she moved in with Rose. So we're just getting all of the kind of crazy Daisy moments.
I forgot how immediate that was too, because like you said, like this is our first time meeting her, and like right from the page, like I'm like, oh my gosh, like no, like she always has been kind of like a little daredevil.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, so I think it's interesting because in the first book, we did meet Daisy a couple of times, and one of those big moments was tricking Lily and Lo into not going anywhere so that they could get on the boat for the Bahamas trip. And
Hmm.
in that one, it was like Daisy was kind of being that yes kid to her parents, and then now she's at this party, and there's like not this kind of adult supervision that's going on, and that's when you can see her like pushing her boundaries and wanting to be free because she doesn't have a parent being like, I need you to do this. Yes, mom, I
Mama
need you to do
Calloway's
this
not
because of that.
here.
Yeah, no. So she can be a little more wild and reckless if she wants to. And then the next chapter is they're still at the party, and Reich is asking where Lily is at.
He comes to her house and he's like, "Let me in," and she's like, well,"
Well, and then I love that there's someone in the background that like gives it away.
and he's like, I'm coming to get you."
Yeah, you need a babysitter right now.
Yeah, he goes.
I need to keep an
It's
eye
hold
on you.
tight.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, like you wanna believe in Lily, but also it's New Year's Eve. Like Lo literally left not that long ago. You're
Mm-mm.
still struggling with a sex addiction. A models party seems like a really strange.
Well, and it's like what Rose said. Like Lily has social anxiety, so it's
Yes.
like it's like a double whammy for her. And I always
Yeah.
like I love Lily and Mike's relationship in this book. Like she's always like she's so like I don't trust him. Stop,
I
you're
know.
being
I think
annoying.
it's so interesting to see the beginning of their
I do
relationship,
too.
that they like, I think because I hadn't read some of the earlier books as often as I was rereading some of the later books. And then
Hmm.
I started finally going back, and I would reread the entire series in one go.
Yeah.
Um, and I forgot how much they butted heads.
And like I love how Krista and Becca have like for all their books and how they craft their characters and like you really go on a journey and how they like layer all these like hidden like Easter eggs that kind of come back up later on. And Lily and Reich are like one of my favorite examples because there's so much there and you can tell like Reich is like he's such a good guy, but he's so gruff and like
Oh yeah.
growly that he's
He's
just like
he's a little
he's so
coarse.
annoyed.
Yes, he's not polished or refined.
Mm-mm.
He is what he is, but
He's
like
just that
there
rugged
is such
mountain man.
yeah, there's good intention behind it.
He's just not good at expressing that sometimes.
No, no, not all the time.
Not all the time.
And also in this chapter, so Reich shows up and they go look for Daisy, and we find out that Daisy has been roofied.
Hmm.
So they had to get Daisy out of there. I also liked that they're in the car, and she looks like she's about to puke. And he goes, "Are you okay?" And she goes, "Yes." And Lily's like, "Okay, she's fine."
That's
And Reich's
totally
like,
fine.
"No, open the door. She's about to puke. She's being sarcastic." And I was like, "Oh, Reich can between the lines with Daisy."
And Lily's like, what?
She's like, "No, she said she was fine." Oh, okay, never mind. I also really like the way this chapter was set up with like there's still on New Year's Eve and then we get January and
Yeah,
like it's the New Year's while they're in the car and then it
it's like
transitions
same day
over.
still,
Yeah.
but we're like midnight right gets thrown up on.
Yes. Please puke outside of his car and
Yeah.
then let's go to the hospital. This is a great way to ring in the New Year.
And I love that Lily also pushes for the hospital.
Yes. I mean, she's she was distanced from her sisters, but like she loves them and
She
she was
does.
very clearly worried about her sister in this moment and looking up all of the symptoms of
Oh my gosh, that was like it's not a funny situation, but like that was like so like Lily's just
death.
so unintentionally funny.
Death.
And he's like, she's fine. She's like, it says death.
Yes. Yeah, go faster.
He's like, she's not
Um
gonna die.
no, she's not going to die. We're not going to lose Stacy.
No.
And so then the next chapter is Lily. She's struggling with withdrawals and she wants to watch porn, but it's not really working for her. She misses Lo too much. And
We all miss
she
love.
decides that she wants to trash her porn collection and she goes downstairs and she hears um, Connor and Rose talking about all of like the different psychological theories and like trying to figure out what Lily could be diagnosed with. I just like listening to Rose and Connor argue.
Oh my god, it's my favorite, like favorite pastime. Like their banter is just so funny, and like Lily is like the perfect vessel for it too, because she's just like, I'm just gonna listen to the nerd stars.
I know she's just like I
I
have
just,
things to do right now, but also I could just watch these two be the nerd stars be in orbit right now.
oh my god, they're so fun. Like their chemistry is just so great.
It's so good. And like I don't know, there's the bit with learning about Rose and her trip to DC where she got her
Oh
period and the
yeah,
boys make fun of her and
I
Connor's
will
really
destroy
good
them.
about supporting her. And then she's like, I never want kids. She's gonna drop that bomb.
Laying the groundwork.
We're gonna set the expectations right now. No
No
children
children.
ever for Rose Calloway.
And Connor's like, okay,
Yeah, sure, okay,
our biggest battle yet.
yes. And we also learn in this that Rose and Connor are going to the different therapists to try and like screen which ones would be good for Lily. Which, when we find out, so one of the therapists says some truly crude things to Rose because Rose is pretending to be a sex addict in this case to
Very
see.
unprofessional.
Yes, and one of the therapists is so crude, and it's just like, what a sister move. She's
Oh,
so like
she's so protective and such like for someone who doesn't want kids, she's very like mama bear.
she is. It's
She's
funny that she's like, I
yeah,
never want children, but also by the way, I'm going to be like mothering you a little bit here and I'm gonna go find your therapist for you. Don't worry, I'm gonna take care of you. You're gonna be okay.
like I have everything under control. Don't you worry. You can trust me. You can rely on me. Like anyone messes with you, I will destroy them.
Yeah, like Mother Lion right here.
Yeah, I love.
All right. So the other thing in these books is we get a lot of flashback chapters.
Hmm.
So this is the first flashback chapter to 2 years ago, and Lily and Lo are escaping a college party. I think this was was it their freshman year?
I think so. It had to have been.
Yeah, I think it was their freshman
Yeah.
year of college, and it was like one of their first college parties, and they're running
Hmm.
away, and Lily trips and hurts her ankle, and Lo picks her up piggyback style, which I love.
Oh,
It's like
that's just like one of my favorite holds
I
that
know
they do. They're just like
it's very them.
it's very them. Oh, they're so good.
It's so cute, and then but then the next day comes to talk with her because yeah, it had to have been their freshman year because it was now that they're in college, like there are a bunch of guys that
Yeah.
could like physically overpower Lily if she's not careful. He doesn't necessarily trust all of these horny college dudes, and he wants to
As
know
you
that
should
Lily can
not.
take care of herself. and asks her to prove that she can take care of herself by using him, which is a really bad
Low.
example because no, she's gonna want you. We're still back in the this is pretend, but no, this is still very real.
But like the pretend they always wanted each other.
I I know.
Like Lo, you're not gonna take remove Lily. You're gonna fall under her spell and be like, oh my gosh, like yeah, we should actually like make this real. Like
Yeah.
actually, like why don't we just cut out the middlemen? Like let's just you and
Yeah.
me.
Call a spade a spade. I like you, you like
Like
me. Let's just be together.
let's. Uh, they're just like they're meant to be, and these flashbacks really emphasize that. I think
Oh yeah. It just
that
there
just
is
adds so much, like so many layers to their dynamic and like who they are as people.
yes, yes, for sure. So then the next chapter is the fizzle event. They're on their way to a fizzle event, all of the sisters, and they're in the limo. And I thought this was kind of an interesting chapter because we kind of see. So they're on the way to the event, and Rose is in contact with their mom, Samantha, who's being like, yeah, you guys aren't going stag. Like, you're
She's
going with
very old
Jules.
school.
Yes. And this moment of hearing what Samantha's kind of planning kind of causes all of the sisters to stress, and we start to
Hmm.
see like the ways that the sisters sort of handle stress. So Rose is like fuming and getting really angry and calling their mom, and Lily's just sort of being quiet and like frozen
Panicking
in
on the
panic.
inside.
Yeah, and Daisy is climbing out of the limo and trying to find air to breathe because it's so
Her
suffocating.
freedom.
And then Poppy's over here like, it's okay, guys, you're fine. And it's like, Poppy, you're the only one
Puppy,
who's married.
you have Sam.
Yeah, you're
You have
fine.
Captain America.
Yes, I don't think you really have a ton of like room to. You can't come in here
You don't
and
understand, Poppy.
no,
You're the
no, no,
normal
no.
one.
Yes, the only normal one. So yeah, I think it's really interesting. And then we also kind of see like, so Rose is wanted to go stag because she had broken up with Connor. So we start to see their on again, off again kind of relationship of
But like,
just,
is it really off
well,
ever?
I think I wrote that down too. It's like one of my favorite lines was um Lily being like, "Yeah, but you two break up in strange ways. Last month I heard Connor say something like, Sadie never disagrees with me, and you said if you want a doormat for a girlfriend, then your cat is perfect. Have a happy life together. Then you slammed the door to your bedroom, and he stormed out of the house smiling." And it's just like, yes, that is them.
Connor's like, I love it. I
This
love
is,
when she's mean to
yeah,
me.
do it more.
Connor's the Nick Miller meme where he's like, stop yelling at me or I'm gonna fall in love with you.
It's so true.
He would hate
He's
that
just like
comparison.
this, this, this fighting. It just fuels me. Keep going. I want more of it.
He's like, you're the only one that can do this to me.
Oh yeah. I just like I love picturing it too. That like we're broken up and he's just like out the door
Okay,
smiling like, yeah, sure, okay.
I'll send you flowers tomorrow. It will be fine.
Yeah. We'll be back together in like 12 hours. Whatever. All right. I'm going to try and pay attention to when it does that, and hopefully I'll stop talking cuz I think we paused
But
that.
it's hard to tell sometimes.
It is hard to tell. Like if I really get into it, we'll see. Again, this is episode 2, so we're still
We're
learning.
learning.
This is all trial and error.
I'm
All
having a
right.
great time.
I'm glad. I hope you are cuz we're going to be here for a while.
Oh my god, no, I love it. Like my favorite subject to talk about the Addicted series.
Mhm. All right. So the next chapter is finally at the Fizzle event, and they're all like seated at their table, and all of their dates show up, and we find out who Lily's date is, which is
Wait,
Aaron
can we
Wells.
before we go there, let's talk about
Oh,
Rose's date.
oh, poor Rose. Matthew Collins,
The family lawyer's son.
who's younger than her. Just like I don't get it. Like Samantha set this up, and it's also Samantha already knows that Rose was dating Connor. And then,
Mm-hmm.
because in that last chapter, she finds out, she's like, why did I have to find out from Connor that you two had broken up? Like, so she knows
Oh, it's
like the level
embarrassing.
that Connor Cobalt is at. And I think
Mm-hmm.
she kind of understands like Rose's intelligence. And yet she's like, who am I going to
Debatable.
set Rose up with? Matthew Collins.
I almost think it's like, because like you go like I go back and forth on like if like she actually knows Rose as well as like she thinks she does. But I also think like she's like who's the worst person I can set up Rose with to push her back to Connor because Connor Cobalt is the actual catch of the century.
That could be it. It could be just like this guy's such a dud and please figure this out and go back to Connor because he's clearly the better option between the two. And
Like
if you
you want
don't
to
have Connor,
date
you're gonna have Matthew Collins instead.
like poor Matthew, but like look at the pool you have to pick from outside of Connor. Is this really what you want? And she just like eviscerates him the entire night, and it's so good.
I know. Later on, she's like, he doesn't know who the English Prime
Who's
Minister
Prime
is.
Minister?
Rose Calloway
Oh,
has her
Rose,
standards, and
and she's not gonna settle.
no, she's not. And yeah, it's so
Neither should
interesting.
we.
No, never.
Never. But Lily's
But
date is
Lily's date, yeah, Aaron Wells, who,
nemesis to Low,
yes,
number 3.
yeah, Lo has a very long shit list.
Yeah.
But Aaron is on that shit list. They knew
Hmm.
each other in high school, and Lo and Aaron, Lo messed with Aaron.
Antagonized each other
Yeah, they
to
really
filth.
antagonized each other a lot. And poor Lily, because she was friends with Lo and basically only Lo, didn't really have like any other protection. And the way that Aaron could get to Lo was by messing with Lily. And
Hmm.
honestly, that's the case for literally anyone to get to
Anyone.
Lo is you
Because
just
like,
have to mess with Lily.
Lo really doesn't care about himself. Like he's like,
No.
I'll drink and like forget it. But you mess with Lily, and that's gonna like activate Lo.
Yes, that's actually
And
gonna get him going.
like Lo did something to this guy that like kind of ruined his like trajectory of life.
Yeah,
And when
he
he
really
hears that
fucked with
Lowe's,
him.
yeah, and like as soon as he hears like Lowe's gone, he's like, oh, where's Lily?
Yeah.
And he like shows
Lily's
up.
around. I can mess with her.
I can, oh, point me in the right direction.
Yeah. But Lily doesn't have to worry too badly because
Mm-mm.
who shows up? Reich Meadows. He's here to babysit
The
again.
Wonder King. Oh,
He's
he's
such a
like,
superhero. He's just like
he
flying
is.
in all the time. I'm here. I'm here to protect.
He really is their superhero. Like for two superhero obsessed people, like Reich is their real life superhero.
He is.
All of the like, and like Connor and Rose are too, but like Reich's like
Yeah, I
Reich
think
is like the most like he has like the most to like earn
yeah.
with his like protection, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that. Cuz it was like he kind of started off on weird footing just like by
Hmm.
lying
He
who he actually
was.
was, but yeah. And I don't know. It's talked about later on in this book that like Reich fights with his fists more than he fights with his words. So it's
Yeah,
like
he does.
so
He's
I
very
he
physical. Like, he's a
feels
very
more
physical
like
being.
yeah, Rose and Connor are also superheroes, but they're like the kind of superheroes
And
that
yeah,
fight with their words
they're
versus
the ones that are
Reich
like
is
in
the
the
one that's
Bat
like
Cave
yes, yes.
and
And
like
Reich's
they're
the
like
one that's
talking
like
on
actually out there
comms.
punching the villains
Yeah.
and stuff.
He's like the one that goes on those like missions and they're the ones like coordinating the missions.
Yeah, exactly. Organizing and
Yeah.
strategizing, and then they send Reich to do it. Yeah, exactly. And while Reich is here,
Him and Daisy have a moment
yes,
where they're like
yeah, I think it's
I really like that like anytime like Daisy and Reich are on like the page together, they always like steal the scene.
they do.
Even though there's like nothing like in like the early books, like it's really just like Reich like not liking the treatment that Daisy gets from like their mom.
Right.
And like kind of like the same with like Lo and like his dad. Like it's like he doesn't like how like the parent treats the child. And so he's like constantly like, you can do something different. Like you don't have to like stick to the status quo and everything like that. And
In
like,
case you can eat that chocolate cake.
hmm one piece of chocolate cake's not gonna hurt you. And like, also Samantha, if she's not allowed to have chocolate cake, why are you sending it out to her? That's just mean.
I know, that's so mean.
Like, send her some, like another dessert to eat if you're that concerned.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's very interesting to see Reich at the beginning just
It is.
constantly pointing out like there are some inequities here, and
Mm-hmm.
you should be one, you shouldn't be treated this way, and two, if you are treated this way, you have a voice and you need to push back. Like you are allowed
And
to
I
push back.
and I think that's the like saying like you have a voice is like such an important like that's just like them. Like the
Yes.
entire like series, like Reich is like all about using your voice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And I was also thinking like you're right that like they're kind of stealing the scene. One of the things that I
mhm,
like about this book in particular is, yeah, we get to see half of it is that we're seeing Lily kind of figuring out how to battle her addiction while Lo is gone. And the other half is like this really cool setup for the rest of the books. And being able to see all of these other characters that aren't necessarily that aren't Lily and Lo. We get to see all of
yeah.
these side character moments, kind of building for their eventual books too,
hmm
which I
And
really
like
like.
that's part of the reason why I find like Ricochet so like such an important book too. And it's like we meet Lily and Lo like at like when they're like at the height of their addictions, and like Ricochet is really like the first time that we're meeting Lily outside of that. Like, yes, she still has her addictions, like she's trying to find ways to like work on it and cope with it and everything. But like she's not running away from these people that she has run away from for years. And so she's basically getting to experience like a new almost like not a new life, but like kind of like a new life with like she's
Yeah.
like being present.
Yes.
And like so she's
Being
observing
present.
all these things too, where she's like, oh my gosh, like the nerd stars on like one side, and then we have like Raisy on the other, and
With
like just
raisins
like
on the other.
the raisins on the other.
Yeah. And then also in this chapter is the fight that okay, going away. Okay. So also in this chapter is the fight
Yeah.
with Rose and Samantha. So we had the Reich and Daisy moment,
I
and then we
forgot
get
about
this,
this scene.
yeah, which just really makes me want to strangle Samantha.
Samantha.
I mean, almost all of these scenes, I want to strangle her, but this is another moment where like they're talking about the fact that she couldn't come stag, that she straight up says you're a woman and your power is like you don't actually have it. It's just a figment.
Mm-mm.
And
You're just there to be like the accessory to like
pretty
the
much.
man.
And Rose is sitting here like, do you hear yourself and how like antiquated you sound right now with this idea that I am literally only here to be with a man? Like you can't think that I can be independent and strong on my own. You're supposed to tell me that. I am your kid. And Samantha slaps her.
Yeah, and I gasped. I was like, oh, I forgot that happened. And
I
like the dad does nothing.
I know, Jonathan, what are you doing? You're just like,
Like,
"Oh,
oh, you know,
Samantha's
Greg,
kind of angry
Greg.
right now." Hmm. Okay. They'll work it out. It'll be fine.
Yeah, he's like, it's best not to
Greg,
get involved. Like Gregory, Gregory. What if it was Poppy? Would you stand up for Poppy?
I, honestly, I don't know. Like,
No, like he's very,
he's so hands off with them.
yeah, he is like, and it's like so funny too that Samantha has those views because it's like their dad is so hands off. Like, does that like, is that really how he feels?
Yeah, I know. And it was interesting too, because like, I, I don't know. Greg feels like such a doormat. Because I think there was a
Yeah.
moment too where Rose said something and he was like, "Yeah, atta girl," but like, he's not like inserting himself into it. He's just gonna mutter that under his breath, and then I don't think he's ever gonna actually go to Samantha and be like, maybe you shouldn't talk to her this way." It's just gonna be like, yeah, okay, I kind of agree with her in this moment, and that's
Yeah.
it.
Like he didn't even like try to get up or be like,
No,
"Oh dear,
no.
dear, maybe we shouldn't hit the children."
Of all of the parents in this particular scene, it was like Greg was even Jonathan Hale does something later on.
Yeah.
But Greg is just doing nothing. But yeah,
Greg is just
so
enjoying his beverage.
I know. Greg's like, this is my event. We just unveiled Fizz life. I'm good over here.
Greg's like on their yacht, like mentally. He's like, I'm checked out of this. Like we announced it. I'm done. I'm off for the
I've done my
night.
part.
Like I'm on vacation now. Sorry.
Oh yeah. So then we have on the other hand Jonathan. So um Lily's trying to like Lily's kind of following around all of the other characters, and Aaron is following after her and kind of harassing her and like actually threatens her a little, like, I'm gonna ruin you the way Lo ruined me or something like that. And Jonathan is the one that's like, I helped Lo fuck with you. Like, I know what my son did, and not only do I kind of support it, I was the one helping him. So I think you're a piece of shit.
Well, because he gets really handsy with Lily, and again,
That,
the dad does nothing. And who is the hero of the scene? The most anti-hero like person of the series, next
yeah,
to Samantha, Jonathan Hale.
yeah. It's just it's very interesting. It's like it's I think you spend the last book being like, I don't like Jonathan. Jonathan
Hmm.
is clearly some kind of trigger for Lo, and he's very harsh and cruel to Lo. And then we get this moment of like, oh, but he actually has these moments where he's going to protect, like, not even his son, like his blood relation.
But like
It's
his,
his future. He calls her his future daughter-in-law in
yeah.
this moment, and
Well, and
like,
he's like known Lily since he like they've grown up with him, so it's like it's not
yeah,
just like. But I think Jonathan also like goes through like a really interesting journey of the series because it's like he has like more moments of like being like, oh, versus like Samantha.
yeah. Samantha's
And
very easy to hate. Jonathan,
yeah.
it's like you want to hate him, but he does have these
But like
particular
he's
moments.
sick. Like
Yes.
he's also an alcoholic. So like
Yeah.
not that that excuses it, like a lot of what he does. But
Right.
he has moments of where you're like, oh, you're actually like
You're kind
you
of
actually do care about your child in a way that only makes sense to you.
yeah. So, um, then we get another sort of flashback moment. So it starts out with after the event, and Lily's talking about she hasn't heard from Lo at rehab. So like the first month, there's no contact. And then the next month he's allowed to send emails, and she hasn't heard an email,
Mm-hmm.
but she did get roses from him, and there's a note that says these are real. We get the reason why this is meaningful in a flashback to 3 years ago, when they're in high school this time, pretending to be in the relationship, and Lo
Mm-hmm.
sent her flowers for Valentine's Day.
Because
Um,
she was sick, she didn't go to school,
yes.
and he like shows up and she goes, "I'm sick. I'm gonna get you sick," and he goes, "We're dating." Oh, he's so sweet.
I know. And he's like, well, I have a Valentine's present that I want to give you. I like
And they're
that
just
they play doctor before he plays doctor. He's going to assess her her illness right now. But he decides that he's like his present is that he's going to make her come over the clothes because they have their rule.
hmm.
They've already had sex their one time, and Lily's rule is that they're never going to have Lily's rule was that we're never going to have sex again. So they're not going to do that, but he's going to make her come over her clothes.
And I also think this flashback really showcases how much Lo is in love with Lily.
Oh yeah, no. So it
Like,
happens, and she panics because she's like, "What was that? That was," and she's looking it up, and she's like, "That was outer course." And Lo's like, "That it doesn't. You can define what counts as sex." And she's like, "That's not going
hmm.
to count as sex." And she's like, "All right, fine, that doesn't count, but we can't do that again." He's like, "But I just wanted to give you a nice Valentine's present." He's like so earnest in this moment,
He's
like, "I
like,
just
I
wanted
just
to give
love
you
you so
something."
much.
I know. I just wanted to give you something really nice, and you're over here panicking. This wasn't what I wanted.
He's supposed to be good for you.
I know.
And like
It hurt
she
my
is like,
heart.
and like it's so interesting too to see how much Lo is in love with Lily. Like when you're in Lily's head, because it's like she could
Mhm.
easily like characterize all this stuff like he's just my best friend. He's just my best friend, and it's like, but you can see through her eyes like how much like he genuinely like has feelings for her, and she's like so terrified to lose him because like
Yeah.
he's like her only person,
Yeah, I know.
and it's like,
And and she's his only person. Like,
Yeah.
they are quite literally the only people for each other for so
To quote
long.
them, they're very codependent.
They are very codependent.
They are the captains of the codependent team.
They are. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, no, my heart
They're
hurt for him in this because you're right. It's even in Addicted to You, um, which was like more of them pretending, and this is another moment of them pretending, but it was like, oh
mhm.
my God, you keep going on about like he's touching me right now, and this is clearly pretend, right? And I'm sitting here like, no, it's not pretend. All
It's
of this is
real.
so real.
And like I don't know if like it cut out when at the part of like us talking about, but like Lily throws out her porn because
Yeah,
like the only person that she wants to like fantasize about is Lo, and like that's the
yeah,
only person that is like can get her off right now, and like that's like it's like part of her addiction, so it's not like supposed to be like cute or anything like that, but it's like I think it shows her progress. I think it
yeah,
shows a
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
growth. Like she's like, this is about my only person,
Yeah, no, it's. I
and
think it's
she's
in
like
the
so earnest.
Yes, she is. I think it's in the next chapter.
Oh, okay.
Where she
Sorry, I skipped
well,
ahead.
no, 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 no. No, you're
Oh,
fine because we're almost there. It's it reminded me of the next chapter is when she gets a call from Lo finally,
oh yeah, 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 yeah.
and she talked about like you're the only one in my spank bank. I have a spank bank and it's only filled with you.
And he's like, okay, thank you.
Thank you. But also in this talk, it was really important because I felt so bad for Lily in this moment because they're talking and Lo wants to know how she's doing and Reich gets in her head and she's like, well, if I tell him some of the setbacks that I've been having while he's gone, he's going to worry about me. And I don't want
Hmm.
Lo to worry about me. He needs to worry about himself.
She's like trying to take care of him by
Yeah.
like being like, oh no, it's totally fine. It's totally fine. So she does end up lying to him.
Yeah. She's like, oh, yeah, I totally threw away all of my porn and all of my toys and I'm doing fantastic. I'm going to see it. I'm seeing a therapist right now. She hasn't actually seen the therapist at this
But
point.
she's going to. So,
Yeah.
but she's like, I'm doing great. Everything's fine. I'm normal
I'm
again.
clearly thriving right now,
Yeah,
and
I'm
you're gonna
so
thrive
sorry you're not
too.
here to see it.
It just hurts because it was
It does
like
hurt.
I think she even has a moment where she's like she pulls the phone away to cry a little bit because I mean it's also the fact that she's lying to Lo. Lo is like the one
Hmm.
person that she doesn't ever have to lie to, and this is an instance
No,
where she feels like she has to for the betterment of
him.
his health, and
Yeah,
I think lying just feels so unnatural to her, to him, lying to him.
yeah. Because she's never really had to do it. Like, and like, because like they've always had each other to talk about. Like, they know each other better than anyone else because they've been there through every like high and low of their life and their addictions. And this is like the first time they're letting people in outside of them. And so, like, I mean, it really speaks to like how much like Lily loves Lo, but it's really sad because she's
Yeah.
like, she can't just be like, I had a bad day. I struggled a lot today.
Yeah.
And like, because she doesn't want to trigger him.
No. Yeah.
Right.
Which they get into later on about like what their actual triggers are, but I just want to tell them right now, like I've seen the
You're gonna
future.
be
You
okay.
aren't each other's trigger. That's not what this is.
No, you're
You
gonna
are
be okay.
codependent, but like it'll be okay.
But you can work on that. That's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. You're codependent, but that's not what triggers your addictions.
That was for survival. That it's not your
Yeah.
forever.
No.
You
So
have so
then,
many people that care about you.
oh yeah, they do. They have a whole. That's another fun part of this book is just seeing the support system that they have.
Yeah. And like, well, I think we'll like we probably will touch on it later, but like, I just love how Connor has just like kind of like he's like they're my friends,
Yeah.
and it's like Connor,
Yeah, no, I think Connor talks about it a little bit in that other chapter when Rose and Connor were talking about like
of the therapy.
yeah, the therapy
Yeah.
and Rose is like, "Why are you here? Like Lily is clearly my sister and I'm going to be helping her." And Connor was like, "Well, Lily's my friend too."
And it's like Connor, you don't have friends. This is such a big deal.
I know.
I
Like,
think Rose is even like,
I
are you
know you,
sure?
Connor. You're a narcissist and
You
you
collect
only
people for
act
your
in an instance when it works in your favor, but this is still pretty altruistic of you.
nerd stars,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
nerd star
So
moment.
then this next chapter is when Lily meets Dr. Banning, and then they talk a little bit about like Lily's sexual history and again they talk about like the codependence between Lily and Lo, and Lily's just panicked that the doctor's going to be like, yeah, you guys are really codependent and this is
No
super
more low for
yeah,
you.
yeah, let's just end this. He's got an addiction that he needs to be focusing on. You've got your own addiction, and this is bad news if you are both together. If you're dating while you're trying to heal from these addictions.
Reich's protectiveness is getting in her head.
Yeah. Yeah. And I thought it was interesting to just one, I love Dr. Banning because
Hmm.
she makes Lily feel so empowered. I like there's a moment where I think they're talking about when Lily hits kind of a low moment in Addicted to You when she slept with the two guys and she's like,
Mm.
Lo looked at me funny. And then Dr. Banning's like, okay, so then you stopped after that. You had the willpower to stop after he kind of told you about this. And Lily's like, oh, I have willpower? You think I have willpower? You think I'm
I
strong?
love Lily. She's so like for a sex addict, she's very innocent, and I just
She
love
is.
her so. And like Dr. Banning really is like the first person to like, because like even though she has the support of like Connor, Rose, and Wright, like this is like an outside third party objective person being
Right,
like, you are like more than your addiction.
right.
We're gonna like have the like we're gonna like give you some tools to kind of get this under control. And so it's not controlling your life, it's just part of your life.
Yeah,
And it really, like you said, like it really empowers Lily and kind of gives her the confidence to be like, oh, okay,
yeah, I can do
maybe
this.
I'm, yeah.
Like
Lily
maybe
2.0 is off to a great start.
I know. It's just, yeah, I really love Dr. Banning. And I think it's really interesting to get her sessions too and just like hear her kind of talk about how you might, I guess, heal, move on, or like become a recovering sex addict. Like, what
Hmm.
does that look like? Because for the most part, we can kind of understand how a recovering alcoholic, like what their recovery looks like. It's no alcohol, you're going to stay sober, all of that. But like, what does a recovering sex addict look like?
Hmm.
Is the answer celibacy? And it's not, because sex is kind of an important part of our lives, and staying
Yeah.
celibate is just that's not really a feasible answer.
But,
So it's really interesting to hear her talk about like what are these actual things that you can do? What will your recovery look like?
and I think it really changes like Lily's idea of what her recovery will be too. Because I think the whole like the idea of celibacy is also kind of like that was a fear of hers, and she's like, oh my gosh,
Yes.
like
Yeah. Even if you were together, could I still have sex with Lo? Like
yeah.
what does it mean? And so Lily does wind up leaving. I like that Lily winds up leaving that session feeling hopeful. She was like
Yeah.
kind of nervous to go to a
She
therapist.
needed to like she needed some good news.
Yes, she needed that hopeful news. And then the next couple chapters are Daisy's birthday. So Daisy's celebrating her 16th birthday, and she asks to go on the yacht for her birthday with her high school friends. And Rose can't come to chaperone because she's got like the academic bowl, but Lily and Reich volunteer to be the like adult chaperones on the trip.
Hmm. Poor
Um,
right.
I know. And so we get to learn a little bit more about Reich's interests too, because Lily asks him about what he was actually going to be spending his break doing. And this is where
Hmm.
we kind of we learn about Reich being a climber and like a very serious climber, free soloing. Says he free soloed El Capitan, I think, and he said he
Yeah.
didn't do half dome.
And he was gonna go out and do
Yeah.
some more, and then she was like, well, but you came here instead, like
Yeah, I know. She's like, you climb actual mountains?
mountain.
Yes, yes, I do. Without
Not
ropes?
like at a gym.
climb at the gym, those colorful handholds. That's not what you do.
Lily was all of us in that moment being like, you do what?
I'm sorry, what now? Without
Like
the ropes, what's free soloing?
your muscles aren't just from running.
I know. Rugged mountain man? You
Like
climb mountains?
actually climb mountains.
Imagine that.
Thank you, Lily, for doing the work for us.
And we also get to meet Daisy's friends, which we get a sense of them. They play a bigger role in some of the other in Daisy's books, but we
Hmm.
we are
You see
introduced
the
to,
dynamic a little
yeah,
bit.
especially between Cleo and Harper are like her two best friends, and they're kind of I don't like them.
No, not nice.
They're they're
They're not nice.
they're like it's they're not nice to Daisy, their friend.
No.
They're also not nice to Daisy's sister. Like, what did Lily do to you?
She's well, she is a Callaway and
Just her name, just being
yeah,
who
her
she is.
name. And like they're just very they have a lot of opinions and they're very
Uh,
just
yeah,
like they put Daisy down
they do.
and
And
Lily down.
they do, yeah. So one of the things that they're talking about was what Reich. It was one they were making fun of Lily for how skinny she was. They're like, "Oh, I've heard some guys kind of like that size zero, but I don't know." And then they go to Reich and they're like, "Well, what do guys
What do you
actually like? What kind of
and
body type?"
Reich is just
Oh,
and
Reich.
Reich gives his answer and Lily's like, can we not?
Yeah, it's just Reich and
Like
Daisy. They're not. They're just.
Reich is just very honest and he has no filter, so he's just gonna
No, he
say
doesn't. Again, he's very
like
coarse.
yeah,
Yeah,
he will like if there's a baby in the room or a grandma, he's not changing how he talks. Like he's gonna talk how he wants to talk. And so like he's just like I'm just being myself. Like Reich is like 110% himself at all times. Like he doesn't like
absolutely.
dilute that at all. And Lily's like, can we like not be ourselves? Can we just give the can we just give like a school answer, please?
Yes.
And I
The
love how Lily gets protective in these scenes too, which is
oh
really
yeah.
fun.
She doesn't she's never been able to play that kind of role for her
Mm-mm.
sister, and she's going to take it seriously. Like, I am the chaperone. Like, there are two of us on this boat. Our parents aren't here. I'm going to take my job seriously. I'm the protective older sister right now, and I'm going to be that protective older sister, Mr. Meadows.
So you stop it.
Yes. So, and then this was the conversation where after after Lily was like, "You kind of need to keep a filter on some of this," and Reich is like, "Lo would have been like 10 times worse than me. Lo fights with his words, and I fight
Hmm.
with my fists. And honestly, neither of us are in the right for the way we fight. But like they're just two different kinds of wrongs right now." But it's an interesting comparison to see between the two brothers.
Yeah, like they really are like two sides of a coin.
Yeah.
Like they really mirror each other, but like in like they take on like the opposite traits almost sometimes.
Yeah. Like almost
Like both
reaching
are
the same
extreme,
destination, but in different ways,
different
kind of.
ways.
Yeah.
Like honestly, like one drives a motorcycle, one has a car, kind of like
Yeah.
comparison. Like they're just they do their own thing, but they're very similar.
Yes.
And like you can definitely tell they're related. And I also like I love it whenever someone's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Lo's brother." And they're like, "Lo doesn't have a brother."
Oh yeah, I think that happened in was it the I think it was the chapter with Aaron, and Aaron's like, "Who the hell are
Yeah,
you?" And he's like, "I'm Lo's brother." And it's
his
like,
brother.
who doesn't have a brother? Which is just
And he,
it's so
uh,
funny to me if in these first books too, just listening to be like, Lo doesn't have a brother. And it's like, what do you mean, right, Meadows?
like like Lo has a brother.
Lo for sure has a brother. He's got his big brother, which I love.
It
I
just
love
goes
when
back
they
to
call each
Jonathan
other
Hale.
big brother, little brother.
I know. Oh,
Even in like I think it's a later chapter and Lo calls him like big brother or something like that. It wasn't necessarily
hmm.
like a
And like
kind
it's really like interesting to like the evolution of like the big brother. because
Yeah, no, it wasn't necessarily like a kind big brother, but it
yeah, like
was,
it's very cutting in the beginning of the series.
but it,
And
I don't know,
then
it turns into like this cute term of endearment between the two of them.
well, and like Lo is so just like untrusting. So he's like the idea of like Reich even like doing like helping in Ricochet is like we don't see it until like the next book after Ricochet, but it's like, why are you helping me?
Yeah,
And Lily's also kind of like, why are you helping? Like, what do you like? They're so used to people like taking advantage of them that they're like, what do you want?
right.
And Reich's just like, I'm just, I'm, I'm just here to help.
Yeah, this
I'm here
is,
to babysit.
yeah, this is who I am.
Hmm.
I am
I am
built,
caretaker.
yeah, I am built to care and help. That is me.
Yeah, like
And
he very much is like he's all like I know we call Rose a mama bear. He's kind of a mama bear too.
he
Like
is,
he's very like he because like we have the hot temper triad
yeah,
obviously, but like him and Rose are like the most like Lo's very protective too, but like Rose and Reich are very like older sibling
yes.
dynamic of we're here to protect.
Well, yeah, so it's like it's that overlap. So they've got the hot tempered triad of Rose, Reich, and Low, who it's not mentioned yet, but they're the hot tempered triad is kind of self-explanatory. They're the
Oh,
ones.
it's so like I vividly remember it being like in was it in it's like in Thrive and Kiss the Sky.
Yeah,
And like those are some of my favorite moments of that book. I know we're not talking about that book, but like
it's
we're getting ahead.
we
But those are some of my favorite moments.
yes. Oh yeah. But yeah, so we have the hot tempered triad with those three, but then we have the overlap of the older kids club with
Hmm.
Rose and Reich and Connor. And so those two overlap with both of those. And so yeah, you get this like super overprotective mama bear kind of attitude with these two
Yeah,
of being the big siblings.
and like Reich is like compared later on in the books to like a wolf. And like he
Yes.
is very much like these like this is my pack. This is like my family. Like they all and like you're not gonna like hurt my family. Even if you're like a high schooler who's being mean,
Yeah.
I will protect my family.
Yeah. No, I see right through your bullshit if you're just some high schooler being mean.
Like, no, we don't have time for that.
Nope, definitely not. So the next chapter is when they talk a little bit more, like the girls are, I think they're floating out in the
Yeah.
ocean and they're talking about sex and Lily accidentally insults one of the girls. Did you just call my vagina loose?
She really like it wasn't even like that she said anything like that. They were just like, oh, and she's like, well, sometimes.
Yeah,
And
I'm just being
she
factual
was
here.
she was trying to be scientific.
She was.
She was channeling the nerd stars and trying to be scientific, and they were like, "Oh, you insulted me."
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no. But we start to see like instances of Lily being kind of a shy sex addict. It's like sex
Hmm.
is her thing, but she doesn't want to talk about it. It's just sort of a
No, she's very like socially anxious, like, and
yes.
being around people is very like anxiety inducing for her.
Hmm.
And she's like, and like when like Lily gets anxious, she just turns into like one of the cutest people because she's just like trying not to be,
I
and she's just
know.
like it just keeps spiraling, and you just like you're like Lily, it's okay.
Yeah, no. You wanna give Lily a hug. Like
You
you're doing
do.
your best.
And
We
like,
really
anyone who isn't nice to Lily just isn't a good person,
mm-mm, no, including these high school girls. So Lily
especially these high
leaves.
school girls.
Yeah, so Lily winds up leaving this group. And Wright comes with her, and then Daisy follows after because she's like, "I'm sorry about my friends. They're kind of jerks." But then we get another Wright and Daisy moment where Daisy talks about whether the fact that she's had sex and she's pretty certain she's had an orgasm, but there are things better than that orgasm.
Hmm.
And Wright's like, no.
Reich the feminist is like actually Reich's channeling Rose in this moment.
He is probably not like not
Not
what.
in the way Rose would do it,
Yeah, no,
but
I'm certain Lily like wanted a Rose figure there to be
hmm
her backup, but like
not in the form
maybe
of
she
Rick
wanted
Dennis.
actual Rose and not Reich in this moment.
And is this one of the moments where Lily's like, I wonder what Lo would do, like if he could
Yeah,
hear.
I think this is a moment where, because Reich gives her some sex advice of, um, a guy needs to make you come twice before he ever actually like tries to
hmm
have sex with you.
And like Lily's still like in her anxiety state where she's like,
Yes,
stop talking
please
to my
stop talking.
sister this way.
This is what is happening right now. And yeah, I think that was a moment of her being like, I don't know how Lo would take a pairing between Reich and Daisy. That is,
Mm-mm. Or like even this conversation, like Lo would not be happy with how this conversation's going, but with
yeah,
like his brother and my sister.
yeah. So it's Reich and Daisy have some very interesting conversations in this
Me
book.
too. And this is also
It's,
one of the scenes where we see how much Daisy loves chocolate cake.
oh yeah, oh
We're
yeah,
like, because she's like,
and
that's one of her three things that she thinks
yes,
is better than sex, and she's like chocolate cake.
yes,
And that just becomes like a big thing for her throughout the
and free
series.
falling. Yes,
Yeah, and free falling.
yeah. Oh yeah. I think it's also interesting too because it's like this. We were talking about how naive Daisy can sometimes be, like where
hmm
she seems worldly at certain points, but at other points she's like, I mean, I'm pretty certain I had an orgasm, but she's not like
Yeah.
she doesn't know. She's still like a little unsure
She's
about
still
certain things.
learning and
Yeah,
she's still
she's
growing up. Like she's
yeah
still trying to like find her voice.
yeah
And I really love when they're like on this yacht because I love that it's also like a bonding moment for Lily and Daisy.
yeah
Like Lily kind of gets to really spend time with her sister
yeah
and to not constant like because like and Lily references it too. She's like last time I was on this yacht, like I didn't really see
yeah
anyone besides like Lo.
yeah. We it was a big moment. Like that was a big moment for me and Lo, but
But
now this can be
yeah.
kind of like a big moment for me and Daisy. And it's
hmm
nice too because it's just her and Daisy. It's not her and all of her sisters, so it like really allows her to like get to
Be
know
the
her
bigger
sister without any
sister.
outside factors. Yeah.
Yeah, and like she gets to really be the big sister, which is like a
Yeah.
role she doesn't usually get to play because it's usually like
Yeah.
Rose.
Yeah, cuz yeah,
Because
especially
Poppy's
if
busy.
Poppy or I mean, even if Poppy were there though, like because Lily would then essentially be that middle sister. It's like,
hmm
okay, my older sister role has kind of been usurped by Poppy or Rose, but now I'm the oldest, so I get to be
And
the
it's
big
really giving
sister.
Lily responsibility that she's never really had before.
Yeah.
And like, because
Yeah.
she's always like relied on Rose to like kind of handle things or Poppy to
Yes.
even handle things because she's like, oh, like my family just forgets about me.
Yeah,
It's
yeah. I
totally
think
fine. Like,
yeah, cuz I think we sort of see some of it too in Addicted to You where she loses her phone at one point and it's just like she's not used to being responsible for she's not used to being responsible for an inanimate object versus an actual human being, but like now
like
she
she can't keep a goldfish alive. Like she's
oh
like,
no no no. Yeah, so now is
and
a
so now she
moment
has to
of
like watch her sister, like not even just her sister's friends, and she has to be like the parental figure.
mhm.
It's a great, it's a great role for her to be in, I think, in this book, and it really kind of makes her again more confident in herself because I really think this book is like building Lily's confidence more so in like who she is,
Yes.
and it just really kind of like emphasizes like Lily's confidence, like her connection with her sisters because like we are laying the like foundation for her and Daisy to become closer.
Yeah.
And I like the chapters after like them talking on the yacht, I think really emphasize that as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Then we get another big chapter. This one's one of my favorite chapters. Is
Yes, I do like this chapter a lot.
so Lily, they're still on the boat, and Lily is struggling to go to sleep, and she decides that she's going to try self love, and
hmm
she can't make herself stop. Like she hits that high, and then immediately comes down, and she needs to chase that high again. So she just keeps
The
trying and trying
compulsion
again.
takes over.
Yeah, it's she's being very compulsive about it, and then Reich comes in. He's just like, I need to get out of here.
Mid, like she's like trying to get another. like
Yeah, she's got
climax,
a
and like
toy.
right,
She's using a toy right now, and she's got the toy in her. And
and Reich
Reich
just
is
bursts into the door. I love this. I love this scene so much. And Reich just like bursts in, and she's like, "What are you doing?"
what do you can't be in here right now. This is a
And
horribly bad moment to be in here.
he's like panicked and like not even like caring at all about like invading Lily's space. He goes, "I need to sleep here tonight." She goes, "What?
Yep,
No." He's like, "No, like I'm unsafe in my bedroom. Like
yep,
I cannot be in here." And she goes, "Go back to your room." He goes, "You
yes.
don't understand. One of the your sister's friends just tried to get into bed with me." And she goes, "Lock your door." Like she's just like like she's like the last thing she wants is like anywhere near her right now.
Yeah. And so she's like, all right, fine. If you're not gonna fucking leave, then I'm going into the bathroom. And she goes into the bathroom.
But how does she get into the bathroom?
She like falls and she's like all wrapped up in her comforter to try and like make sure that he cannot see what's actually like going on under the sheets. Oh yeah.
She makes like a like she like wraps herself up and like
I,
literally like face plants on the carpet.
and Reich's just
And he's
like,
like, "What are
I
you
mean, yeah, this
doing?"
kind of fits for Lily. He's like, whatever,
Yeah.
fine, go ahead. This tracks for her. She's a little
He's
quirky.
like,
So yeah, so she goes into the bathroom and then she's still like clearly struggling with
hmm
this self-love and climbs into the bathtub. And that's when Reich kind of and she like has this really low moment and Reich realizes that she's having a low moment. So he I love that he like knows like okay, I got to call somebody and he goes to he
yeah.
like it feels like he's this I don't know. I like the way that he feels like the support system that even he kind of has Dr. Banning's number. Like he knows who Dr. Banning is and who to contact when Lily is having a low moment. Like
Yeah.
he
Like
doesn't
he's
feel
very
like
proactive.
yeah, it doesn't feel like he's just sort of there as like
His
Lowe's half
brothers,
brother, just kind of being
yeah.
there to keep an eye on her. It's like no, you're right. He's being very proactive. He's very active in Lily's recovery as well.
hmm Well, and that's like the perfect point. Like he's not just like Lowe's big brother. He's
Mhm.
actually like friends with Lily. Like at
Yes.
least in his head, he's friends with Lily.
Yeah.
Lily's like, you keep invading my
Keep
space.
some, leave some. I might leave some,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. No, like she's like Lily's learning how to have friends again outside of Lowe. And Reich is really like what's the, oh my gosh. It's not admiring, but it's like Reich's really kind of like laying the groundwork of like I'm gonna be there for you too. Like I
Yeah.
might be Lowe's like brother, but I am also here for you, and I will help you any way I can as well. I can't think of the word. It's gonna bother me now. It's gonna come to me like after this podcast is over.
That's okay.
But it's like not like admiring. It's oh my gosh. He's really kind of like endearing. That's the word. Endearing himself to Lily too. Like
Yes.
he's really much like I might be Lo's brother, but you're my friend, and I care about you as much as I care about Lo. Like you and Lo are like really like they're a package deal.
Yeah.
And but like he also like he's not coming into them like mid recovery either. Like he saw them at their
Yeah.
lowest points, and so Reich is like a bleeding heart in a gruff
Yes.
mountain body, and so he's like it's just a really sweet moment, and I love like their like development of like their relationship in this story too, because it's really sweet and really cute how like Reich
Yeah.
is just like always Reich is just there to take care of people. Like he really is just a caretaker at heart.
Yeah.
And like because I'm sure like also like I always wonder like is his first inclination to call Lo, but like he gets the permission from her therapist first to make sure like
Yeah.
it's not going to like upset Lily even more.
Right. Like Lo doesn't want to, or Reich doesn't want to hinder Lily's recovery at all. Like maybe
Mm-mm.
calling Lo isn't the right
The
move.
right move because like that's really like what like his
Of-
entire thing with Lee is like he doesn't want to mess up either of their recoveries, and like you can
Yeah.
kind of see that in his book where he's like we call him a babysitter in like the first like chapter that he's like in, but he really is trying to like he starts out maybe as a babysitter, but like he kind of grows into like I don't want to trigger either of them into like
Yep.
doing something that they're not like they're gonna struggle with after. Because like Lily's in a really like she's like in the bathtub, like just not doing good at all
Yeah.
after.
Yes. This is like a really low moment for her. I am alone. I don't have low with me, and I don't know how am I meant to move forward? Every time I try and reach this high that I have been used to, it's just like nothing is satisfying me, and this is scary for me. And so she does wind up talking with Dr. Banning, who says that yes, you can talk to Lo. Like you're not doing well, and you can like I think
Lo
you
can
should
help her.
yeah, I
Like
think you should talk to Lo right now and get some comfort from him. And I love this phone call with
I
the
do
two of
too.
them. So they have the phone call, and we get the little bit with Lo and Reich of like, yeah, I'm talking. I got a phone call from my brother, my half brother.
The snark is real with Lauren Hale.
Yeah, and then they kind of talk about like why Lily is struggling and just like
Is
how
this one
hard.
of the moments where he's like, we have to be honest with each other if we're gonna get better?
Yes, because she's like she has to tell him why Reich is suddenly calling him in the middle of the night to be like
Hmm.
Lily's not doing well, and Lily explains like I was using the toy and it's not satisfying, and he's like, well, I thought you got rid of all of your toys. She's like, oh no, I actually lied, and he's like,
Yeah,
we you can't
you
lie to
can't.
me.
Yeah.
um
Oh,
yeah,
hello.
I know. And yeah, I did no more lying. Yeah, not with each other, not with our friends. We have to do better. And he agrees with Dr. Banning about, I think Lily was like, I'm going to eliminate self love,
Hmm.
or I'm going to minimize now, and then I'm going to eliminate it when you come back. And Lo's like,
Yeah.
no, that's dumb. You need to, like, if it's not helping you, then you need to cut it out now. And when I'm back, like we'll figure it out from there. You can do it with me. But I do like that Lo, like it was a moment of Lily kind of being like, oh well, I can't completely cut it out now
Hmm.
because you're not here. I still want it. And Lo's like, well, it's bad for you, so no, you're not gonna get it. Like it's one of those moments of him recognizing that she has these bad compulsions and he can't feed into that anymore. This is like he's actually laying the law down when it comes to what would be better for her health.
And I think like the bathroom scene is like a really big moment for her to be like, I like the entire book is like her saying like I want to get better and her like trying to better herself. But this like part is like where she's really like I'm gonna like she's like fully committing to like the things that scared her.
Yeah. Yeah. Like actually committing to doing recovery
Hmm.
the right way. Like there are no shortcuts to this. You can't take
No.
shortcuts with this. You have to fully go into it, and yeah, she's like committing to doing that.
And I also think this was really important for Reich to be there for, as weird as that sounds, because like he kind of
Yeah.
needs to like see that Lily is like he can trust Lily not to break Lo's heart.
Right. Right.
And
Like
like
this is
that
a moment cuz it was that she had lied to Lo in the first place because Reich
mhm,
was in her head of, well, like you can't tell him all
don't
of these
upset
bad things that are
him.
happening to you because that could be detrimental to your or to his health. um but then it was, well, Lily's struggling, and the doctor's like, well, you need to go talk to Lo. Like Lo is the one who's going to make you feel better. And in that moment they're talking, like Lo uncovers the fact that she did lie, and it's like even Lo can recognize that no, you are not detrimental. It's more detrimental to both of us to be lying. It's not hurting me to hear your honesty. And
Hmm.
Reich can actually like witness that that's happening.
And they're like recommitting to each other, and like
Yeah.
Reich can see like oh like they actually are stronger together
Together. Yeah.
than
There are
not.
benefits to the codependency.
Yeah, and like I also love that Reich is just like kicking the comforter out
I
of the
know.
bathroom.
The
Sometimes the serious
comforter
guy is
with
so
a
unserious.
certain toy wrapped up in
Hmm.
it, but just
It's
get
fine.
that out of here. It's okay.
He'll be like,
Yeah.
let me help you.
Okay. So I think the next chapter is also a really big, like, Lily Daisy kind of chapter too, because that's when they go on land to celebrate Daisy's birthday at a restaurant, and Daisy goes missing.
This is the big sister Lily Kellaway moment that we've been
Oh
waiting
yeah,
for.
and Daisy's missing,
She
and some
leaves. They're at dinner or
I
lunch or
know,
at a restaurant,
like
and she
they're
just
literally
leaves.
all there to celebrate her, and she's like, "Oh, I want to go jumping.
She
I
just
am."
sneaks out. She's just
Yeah,
like,
she doesn't tell anybody. She's just like, "Yeah, I want to go jumping. I'm gonna go do this. I'll
and
be
like
fine."
Lily has like a paralyzing fear that she's been kidnapped, especially because like Wright goes to like ask the maitre d if they have like if they've seen her or anything like that, and they go, yeah, she left with some guy, and Lily's like, oh
Yeah,
my
some
god,
locals.
this is it.
What? I think
And
is
like
this.
Lily's just like panicking, and Bryke has to kind of like take control, but like Lily is like, we're gonna find her. She's gonna be
Yes,
fine. We're
yeah,
gonna find her,
and
and
they
they do find
do.
her.
Yes, Reich helps find her, and Daisy has climbed up onto a cliff, and she's about to jump into the ocean in a pretty dangerous spot. I think there's like
Where there's like
one,
only like a little
yeah,
tiny
there's like
drop off.
very small clearance for her to hit this really
Hmm.
deep part of the water, and
Or like everywhere else is all shallow,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
this is like the only spot you can hit. Otherwise, like you will severely hurt yourself. And Reich, being Reich, like takes off into the ocean and is like swimming towards these cliffs. And Lily is like, "Oh my god, like please get to her in time, please get to her in time." And like we get to see like Reich Meadows like free climbing, like
Yeah,
climbing up these.
Lily's like, oh, Reich gets to free solo climb on his vacation
Yeah,
anyway.
because
Not
Lily
in
felt
this
bad he
moment,
went with
Lily.
her. But like Lily's such a good person. She goes, "I want everyone to have a good time."
I know, like, oh, good. Reich did get to hit
I
his
didn't
goal.
hinder
I'm
Reich
glad.
climbing. Yeah, she's like, "Oh, good. Reich didn't have to give it up for me. He still got to do it." Meanwhile, like Daisy's like, "Oh my god, you found me." And like
Yeah.
this is like where like you also like your heart bleeds for Daisy because like she does end up jumping
Yes.
and Reich ends up following her into the little small area, and you also Daisy doesn't pop up first, and so Lily's
Right.
like again still in her panic state of like I'm gonna have to tell my family what happened to Daisy. Like they're all gonna be first of all like I think she even was like I don't remember if like this is exactly, but she's like they're gonna hate me. I'm not responsible. And then she, like, Daisy finally pops up, and her and Wright are just yelling at each other.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think Lily even goes, like, I've never seen Daisy yell. I've never seen her,
Yeah.
like,
No.
get that mad.
Oh,
And your heart kind of really bleeds for Daisy because at one point she goes, like, well, I left, but I didn't think anyone would notice. And then you kind of realize that maybe, like, her and Lily have more similarities than, like, just like being related. Like they both kind of are like, well, no one's gonna notice if I'm here or not.
right. It's another moment of like siblings mirroring each other, but in like
Hmm.
slightly different ways.
Yeah,
And
which is really interesting, like the pairings of them because we have like the very like just because what am I trying to say? You might have to cut this part because I like lost my train of thought. But
yeah,
it really is an intense moment of the book. And this
yeah.
is like one of the scenes I remember vividly from like the
Oh, yeah.
first time reading it. And I'm like, it's one of my favorite scenes of probably the book because it's just there's so many layers to it that even come back like later
Hmm.
on in the series. But it's really like the first like opportunity of you see like how Lily deals with like a really big situation.
Yes.
And like it's kind of like a big test, not even like a test for her, but it's like a really big moment for her to kind of like again like be that older sibling to kind of like take control.
Yeah.
It's right kind of showing how productive and like what lengths he will go to like kind of like to keep someone safe or to have someone feel safe. Because for Daisy, like her feeling safe is
Yeah. I
daredevil
think it's
activity.
also like a Reich move of like, I want to protect you, but also I see
Hmm.
you, and
I'm
um
not going to stifle you.
oh, well, I'm not going to stifle you, and you can go off and do it, but just know that I'm going to be following after you. Like, you can run,
Hmm.
it can feel like you're running away, but you're not. Like, I'm going to be right next to you when you do this.
Yeah, you can run from everyone but me because I will be right beside you.
Yeah. You're not alone. Yeah. Reich is
And
very
like
much.
that's what like Daisy like needs to feel not alone because she really kind of is.
Yeah, because with her friends too, like we were seeing that her friends are dicks.
They don't
Like,
care about her at
no,
all.
they don't care about her at all. Like, I mean, yes, Daisy left, but like, where were
Why
they?
did she
Like, why
leave?
didn't any of
Like
them notice that she left too?
like Daisy probably wouldn't have gone if she had one friend who would have been like, "Oh, I noticed you were gone. Like I noticed you were missing." And the fact that she thinks all of these friends who she took with her to Mexico for her birthday wouldn't notice that she was gone, I think really speaks volumes of all their relationships with each other,
Yeah.
which are not well. They're not
No,
good relationships.
nope, nope. I will be happy to see them go, but yeah, her
Yeah.
friends. Yeah. Okay, so that's a big chap. Yes, and I think it talking about Lily and Lo and like their codependency kind of leads into the next chapter of them being back in the States, and they
Hmm.
get the phone call and Lo talks a little bit more about rehab, what it's like for him and kind of identifying his own triggers, which he kind of he's more open about, like Jonathan is my trigger, but Lily,
Hmm.
like she expresses her own concern about, am I your trigger to drink? And Lowe's is like, well, you've been talking with your therapist. Have you figured out like why do you
What
have this
happened?
compulsion to have sex
Yeah.
so much? Is it because of me? Like there were things that
He
happened in my
really blames
childhood,
himself.
yeah, that could have caused um could have caused this with you. And am I your trigger? And it's like, no. I like that
No, no,
we
no.
reaffirm, no, neither of you are each other's trigger.
You guys are actually each other's strengths
Yes.
and your pillars to lean on when you need someone.
Yes.
Because they really like, and you'll see this like in later books too, but they really are like, I'm doing this for myself, but I'm also doing this for, like, I have to do this for myself to be strong for the other person. Like,
Yes.
I can't give in because the
No.
other person also needs me to be strong.
Right.
And it's like, they're just so in love. They're just like
They're so in
such an
love.
epic love.
It's just like it's this imagining of it needs to work between the two of
Hmm.
us. Like I truly cannot imagine a life where I'm not with you. And if I'm not healthy, then I can't be with, like if we're not being healthy, then we can't be together, and I
Yeah.
cannot comprehend that. I need to get healthy. That's the way this is going to work.
Yeah, like Lily and Lo are like, as they go together, like peanut butter and jelly.
There is no Lo
And like,
without Lily or
they're,
Lily without
and Lily
Lo.
without Lo. Like,
Nope.
no. And so like it's just it's really like beautiful how they always are like recommitting themselves to their like sobriety and like getting better and like in that way they're also recommitting to each other. Who needs vow renewals? You just constantly recommit to your partner.
Oh, that's beautiful. And okay, so what else happened? Lo
Is
also
this a
tries,
Skype call?
yeah, he tries to have phone sex with her,
Mm-hmm.
which was a little bit of a struggle. Because one, Lily's just like so overwhelmed. I love that he's like, I think this is when he tells her to go get something, and she's like, what do I need to get?
And then he's like, okay, you know what? We're gonna Skype.
Yeah,
We're gonna
we gotta maybe take this a step back. Like, I need to see your face right now. And I like that they finally get to see each other. It's very over. Lily gets overwhelmed again because like she hasn't seen Lo in months at this point.
I love this part too, because it's
Uh,
the first time we get to see Lo
I
after like
know.
him, and like she is just like she's like the perfect person for it. Because like who else is gonna do it? But she's like, oh my God, like you
Oh,
look so good, like you
yeah.
look so
He's like showing off the
healthy,
fact that he has abs. He's been working out. Uh, and
and she's like,
I
oh my
think,
God,
yeah, I think this was also, was this the moment where she shows that she's got like her own little belly? She's got a little bit of belly fat on her. She's like,
yeah.
look, I'm gaining weight.
Oh, they're just so wholesome. They're just so wholesome.
My Google heard me. I don't know why.
What is it Googling?
And I also like in this moment because I think she's showing off that she gained weight. And I think it was because she said she was eating Twizzlers to try and help
Mm-hmm.
her
The her
compulsion.
craving. Yeah, like
But
she's
Lo was like, "Yeah, you've been eating all of the. You're the one that likes all of the fun named like food stuff.
candies.
Like you're getting
Yeah.
the ho hos and
Oh
the ding
ho's
dongs."
and ding dongs. She goes,
I love Lily's mind.
stay out of my snack drawer.
Yeah, let me have my fun named snacks.
And like they're so cute together. They're
They,
just
they are. And yeah, so they do have phone sex. Lily struggles a little bit. She like
mhm.
Lo tells her to stop, and she doesn't
So,
quite
oh yeah,
stop.
like she like was like this can only work if you listen to me, so you have to listen to me. And they like Lily gets off, but she's like her compulsions kick in. She goes, I have to go again. I have to go again. And like Lowe's
Anyone's
like screw like okay.
yeah, like I can't see you right now. You've pushed
Hmm.
the screen away from me, so I can't even see you right now. I can't stop you. Um,
He has to yell to get her attention.
yes, and she feels really bad afterwards. So it's this we're seeing more of Lily after these moments of just like feeling so guilty about her addiction, like and her
She
compulsion.
really beats herself up.
Yeah, she's super hard on herself, and he like does try and reassure her, but she's like, this is so hard without you. Like I don't know how I'm ever like I it's hard for her to imagine what it would look like to be a recovering sex addict because it's so like it's so hard for her to stop even when
Hmm.
Lo is there trying to tell her to stop.
Because it's just like it takes over, and she can't. She just can't.
Yeah,
Even if because like she even's like I because she knows she's gonna hit that low after, and she's just she does it. Like she goes for it because she
yeah,
just can't not.
yeah,
But I mean, also like she's done so well up to this point that it's really like you almost want to like hug her and be like, Lily, look how far you've come.
yeah.
Like look at what you're doing.
And
Yeah.
then there's another moment in this chapter where he's like, I'm holding you. Like they want to touch so badly.
Oh,
He's
they're
like,
so
I'm
far
holding you. My
away.
arms are wrapped around you right now. And I can't talk
Ah,
about it right now, but there's a parallel between this and a book in the Leica series, and I love it so much.
oh,
It makes this moment feel even more powerful.
like again, like they're just so good at like layering their stories and just kind
And
of like bringing things back around, doing parallels, and just really kind of like laying Easter eggs for like books to come. And it's just, it makes them like, that's why rereading them is always so much fun.
yes, that's something that I want other people to understand is everyone's like, I can't finish this series because then I'll never be able to read it again for the first time. And that's true. I you won't ever get the first time you read these books again, but the Easter egg hunting in these books is some of my favorite Easter egg hunting that
Oh my God. And
I've
like
done.
rereading them is so much fun. Like I have like, so I reread the Addicted series probably like 2 or 3 times. Like even like the first, I read it 2 or 3 times before Some Kind of Perfect came out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I read Some Kind of Perfect and I cried for 20 minutes after and just like sobbed, completely sobbed.
That tracks.
But like I think I reread most of them, mostly because I wasn't in the emotional state to like go through all the crying of like the last couple ones. But I reread most of them before like Damage Like Us came out, and they're still so much fun. And like rereading Damage Like
So
Us
fun.
or like the Like Us series, same, so much fun, so many parallels, so many Easter eggs, so many things that have been layered on, and it's such like a unique reading experience, but like one that you can experience over and over and over again.
And there's things that I catch every time I
Yeah,
read.
every
Like
time.
I I have read I think I've read the Addicted series 9 times. According to Goodreads, I've definitely reread it more than that. But Goodreads says I've reread it like 9 times. I think I've reread Damage Like Us 15 times at this point. And I, but like,
Fair.
I think you catch more in some of the later books because I haven't reread them as many times to catch some of the nuances. But even still, there are things that I catch in some of the books that I've read, like more than like in the double digits. I've reread them and I'm still catching new things, and it's just
Yeah. No,
it's
like I reread the first two book the last not Nobody Like Us, but the two before that.
mhm.
I'm trying to keep it like spoiler free for that series if no one's read it. But there were so many things I was catching too, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god. And I've reread those a couple of times too, because they're my favorite.
Yeah.
And there's just so many things in them that I'm like, oh my god, this is so like it's such a good study of craft too. Like if anyone like wants to write, like they do characters so well. Like when I tell you I cried for 20 minutes after reading Some Kind of Perfect, I felt like I was saying goodbye to my friends. Like my friends were moving away and I was like gut wrenched that I was losing my friends.
So you haven't read Nobody Like Us yet, but so
No, I'm
I
like so
definitely
like
had that emotion at the end of Some Kind of Perfect. But more recently, I finished Nobody Like Us for the first time in January of this year, and oh my god, I actually cried for days afterwards. Like
I'm calling you
for
when I
a
read it. So
yeah,
that
yeah, you can. It was a, just a week afterwards. I was so sad, and it's so funny. So
because it's
for
not
those that,
ending.
well, yeah. So for those who maybe aren't as familiar, we have the Addicted series, which follows Lily, Lo, Rose, Connor, Reich, and Daisy. And then the next series is the Leica series, which will follow their children.
Hmm.
And it follows some of their children. There are a lot that there are a lot of kids, and it doesn't follow all of the kids, but it follows some of them. And then we're getting a new series called the Copalt Empire series, which will follow more of the characters. And again, we see all of these characters as side characters. But we finished Nobody Like Us, and I was like, oh my god, they're all gone now. And it's like, what are you talking about, Haley? You're gonna see them in other series. You're gonna see them on Patreon. Calm down. But no, it felt like, yeah.
No, it feels like it's like an end of an era when like each series and like I'm not ready to say goodbye to like a series. Like it took me a while to like I think Some Kind of Perfect came out and I maybe read like 4 months after it came out and I remember sobbing and I went on Twitter and I messaged Becca and I was like, Becca, I'm devastated. And I swear she probably was like, well, I get to see them in the Like Us series. And I was like, I know, but this is different. So like it really, but like it, you like they feel like real people by the end of it. So where
They
like you're like,
do.
and like you're so proud of them for like all the journeys they've gone on. But
Yes.
like rereading the books at the beginning kind of like make you even more emotional because you're like, oh my God,
Yes.
like you've come so far. Like Lily and Lo as parents in the Like Us series, I love them so much.
Mm-hmm.
And it like makes me always look back at their books. Like I'm like, you have no idea what's waiting for you.
No, you don't. Oh my
Like
gosh. It's
you are going to be the
it just makes you
best
really,
people.
yeah, it makes you appreciate these books a little more because you can see
Hmm.
where they started. Like truly, truly, truly you can see like their very beginning and
Hmm.
to their end, not their end, but like
But like
their
their
present.
next chapter,
Yes.
like,
And
and like kind of like passing the baton off to their kids too, where they're like,
yeah, but it gives you
oh,
appreciation for like their strength because you know where they're going to end up, and you can see that distance that they have to hurdle, and it's a really big distance, and
it's a lot. And it's like,
you have
I
truly
also forget,
overcome a lot.
and like, it wasn't until like I saw how old like Daisy was in this book that I forgot how like
Hmm.
many years are also spanned of this series. And like, Lily and Lo are just like starting, and like, you really like and again like this book is so pivotal to their journey too because like you really have to like see them like do the steps to get better
Yes.
and to kind of have that time never know.
But yeah, so at the end of this chapter when they have the phone sex, that's when he's like, I'm there, I'm right with you, you're in my arms, which I love that moment. And then
It's just so tender after such a emotional
yeah.
like beat.
Yeah. And the he has his I love you and no other man will ever say those words and mean them the way that I do.
Damn right, Lo.
Yeah. No. You are so 110%. Yeah,
Like, you're just low.
I love
Just the
it.
best.
Yes, it's a good.
I love him so much.
Yeah. So then we get to Lily Vaude.
Oh, I love this scene.
Yes. So it's Lily, Rose, Reich, and Connor are there to
Hmm.
watch Lily kind of like make promises about how she's going to handle her sex addiction.
In a
And
very Rose Calloway style
yes, this is very
ceremony.
much Rose's idea.
And we love
With
it.
yes, there's a fire, and
There's a burning. They're gonna
yes,
like
so she
one of my favorite moments is in this scene, and I could not stop laughing.
oh yeah, and we also learn right before her vows that they're planning on having Lo live with Lily and
Hmm.
Rose when he comes back from rehab, and it's going like it's kind
They're
of the same.
sharing a room.
Yeah, it's like kind of the same as when they were living together at the Drake when they were in the height of their addictions, but it's different because now they're sharing a room. They have another person in the house with them. Like they can't they can't just hole up and be hermits the way that they used to.
Hmm.
They have to be a little more active and present in their roomie's life. Rose
It's Lily
Rose
and Lo
Rose is the perfect
2.0.
person to be like, yeah, you're gonna be present in my life. I don't worry.
She's like, she's like
Yeah, I will be
knocking on
that
their
cock
door.
blocker. Don't you worry.
She goes, Lily, let's go shopping.
Yes.
Lily, watch a movie with me.
Yes.
Lauren, you can join too.
Lo, you can whatever, fine. Come if you
Connor,
want.
come get Lo.
Yes. Or even better, Reich, come take Lo. Connor, come with
Yeah,
me.
yeah. Lo, go for a run with your brother.
Yes. Okay, so then Lily does her vows. And I love it because
They're
this is
just,
another
they're,
support system moment where they're like, you need to scream it. Say it like you mean it.
hmm.
But Lily's four vows are I will not look at porn. I will not masturbate. I will not be compulsive about sex. And number four, the most important, I will not cheat on Lauren
Cheat
Hale.
on Lauren Hale.
And again, this is another Easter egg into the Leica series that feels like makes this moment feel even more powerful. And
Yeah.
it's just like it's one of those things I see people online when they read these first few books and they're like, I don't get this whole like I'm not gonna cheat on Lo. Like, why can't she like why is this her mantra? This is a horrible mantra for her to have. And I'm sitting here like, you just clearly do not understand what it is to be a sex addict. Like you have zero empathy for this sex addict in that like you may think that it's so easy to say that I'm going to commit to a sex or that I'm going to commit to only having sex with this one person as a sex addict. But like or not as a sex addict. Like you can say that because you're not a sex
Hmm.
addict. You don't know. I don't understand those people.
Well, and also like it's not even like it's like one of Lily's biggest fears just in general. Like she doesn't like because cheating on Lo means like she failed at something and like she would never like hurt Lo. She would never want to cheat on Lo. Like Lo is the only man for her. Like once like she gets over her fears of like losing Lo, like in their fake dating, like and when they get into being a real relationship, she's like terrified that she's gonna do something that pushes him away.
Yeah.
And so it really speaks to her fear and like how not in control of her body she feels
Right.
sometimes and how like her compulsions really do control her and really do
Yes.
have their own actions to where she's just kind of like having to do like going through them without really comprehending what's happening until after
Yeah. It's
because she's so in that feeling. And so I
mhm.
really like I love it and I think it's really and like when you read the series you realize like that's never gonna happen
No, no,
like
never.
ever.
It,
But it's a testament to like these are all of her fears that she's vowing
yeah.
to overcome. And I love how into it she gets at one point
Oh
where
yeah.
she's like
So
screaming it and then she throws it.
yes, she throws it into the fire, and Rose is like, "What are you doing? You weren't supposed to do that."
That's my favorite part because it's such an insight to Rose's character too, where she's like, because like these are like vows and like
A
these
commitment.
commitments are so important to her, and she's like she like screeches and she's like
Yes.
screaming and like Connor's like, what was the point of her like not doing it? Like she goes, it defeats
Yeah,
the
she's like, what
purpose.
was the point of the fire?
and like and like Connor's like the no like Rose is very dramatic at times and Connor is like so like level headed that he's like so amused by it, but he's like, what was the point? Like, why do we have a fire? And like, I wasn't supposed to do that.
Yeah, no. She's like, no, that was just for the porn.
It's so good. And
Oh yeah.
like it adds some levity to like a really emotional moment.
Yes, for sure. There's this deep sense of like pride
Like
and
Lily's actually committing to this. She's
yes.
actually gonna do it.
And then we
And like
get
she's
this.
like vowing it and then she throws in the fire. I was like, what are you doing?
No, 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 no. You're supposed to commit to that. You're not just supposed to send it up in flames.
We were gonna keep that and frame it and
Yes.
laminate it.
Hang it on our wall.
Always remember.
Yes. And then at the end, it's like I like it. One, because we see how much Connor understands Rose because
hmm
the rest of their family is coming over to celebrate as a housewarming. They don't know about Lily's vows because they still don't know about her sex addiction at this point. And it's like Rose can either go handle dealing with her mother showing up or she can clean up this fire. And Connor's like, I'll go, don't worry, I'll go take care of your mom. I know what you want to do. You clean this up and I'll go handle that. And then it's a moment of Lily being like, Rose, you have like you've been there for me for this journey. You've helped me find my therapist. Like, you've been so supportive. You're willing to let Lo move into the house when he's out of rehab, even though we know that Lo is not necessarily your favorite person. Like, you were just being,
It's the biggest testament of Rose's love is
oh,
sharing a house with Lauren Hale.
yes, truly.
Like when she's like, I would do anything for my sisters, this is what she means.
Yes, it does. Yes. Um, so yeah, I like seeing that moment. And then we get the next chapter. Lo is coming home the next day, and Lily goes to see Dr. Banning. And it's another really good moment with Dr. Banning of Lily sort of has this revelation. Some of who I am is because I was so ignored as a child that
hmm
my mom didn't really see any worth in me. I was not super smart like Rose. I wasn't like an absolute stunner like Daisy's turning out to be, and there was nothing for my mom to do with me, so she just sort of let me be and
Didn't.
didn't invest any time. And
It's
that's
one of
kind
the
of
most
how I,
heartbreaking moments is
yes,
like of
it
like
like,
Lily's entire like character arc is like knowing like her mom just didn't care.
yeah, was just not a mother to her the way she should have been. And poor Lily, like, one, it's this revelation that, like, oh my God, it was my mom ignoring me. She saw no worth in me. She felt like I was worthless. And then to this, why do I feel this way though? Like, I know where I came from. I recognize that I came from wealth and privilege and I was given so much. Like, my sisters struggle in their own ways, even though my mother invested time into them. My sisters still struggle with like feeling suffocated and confined because of my mom. And I didn't have that. But like, why
hmm
do I feel she did me wrong? I felt neglected. And I don't know why I'm feeling wrong that I was given so much, but feel like I was given so little. Like that, I can't make that click. And Dr. Banning is like, you're human. You're allowed to feel this way. It's okay.
It doesn't matter if you're wealthy or not. Like it's like mental health is like and it's gonna hit whoever.
Yeah.
And I think it's just like a testament to like how like guilty Lily almost feels about her
Yes.
addiction, where she's like she goes, I can't, I have like I've had everything I've ever wanted, and like I think this is even like a moment. I mean, she brings it up in like a series too, where she goes like, "They're my parents. Like I have everything because of them."
Yeah.
And like even though like they're not the kindest to her, she's like,
Like they
I
still
I
gave me
have them to yeah
everything that I have today. And I don't know how to
like
feel.
reconcile.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah. So I think this was like a very important moment for Lily, just kind of recognizing some of her, like her history or in her background and like
Unpacking her trauma.
Yes, her trauma. That's it. And then we reached the last chapter, which is one more flashback to 3.5 years ago, which is when it's like days after Lily and Lo decide that they want to they're gonna pretend to be in a fake relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and we kind of find out why they've agreed to do this. Lily got a cruel message from this guy. Lo decided to retaliate. They sent a dead
Oh
rabbit
yeah,
to
yeah,
her.
yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
And here's something that you can hump, or something like that. It was really mean, and he wasn't from Dalton. She had sex with him. And his girlfriend broke up with him. Trent blamed Lily for his girlfriend breaking up with him. He sent her a dead white rabbit with this cruel note that was just like this cruel note, and Lo retaliated by dousing his door in pig's blood. And
As Lauren Hill does.
yes, as that's just a Lauryn Hill move. And I mean, he is emperor of petty. Emperor,
Mm-hmm.
not just
We love him. Don't mess with Lily, you won't get picked.
yeah, no. I mean, pretty simple to
Simple.
me.
It's really simple. Like leave Lily alone.
Yeah, it's one rule. Very easy to follow. But Lo gets in trouble, and Jonathan gets really pissed at him because Lo gets suspended,
Mm-hmm.
or Dalton threatens to suspend him, and Jonathan does talk to the school, and he gets his suspension like wiped from his records. And this is another moment of like, we had Jonathan being nice kind of at the beginning with the fizzle, but now we
Mm-hmm.
see Jonathan at kind of his worst. He's like, stop ruining my name, like it, which is just like this weird possession over the Hale name. It's like
Mm-hmm.
Lo is a Hale too, and I feel like he has some ownership over his own name, being Lauren Hale. But Jonathan's like, you're ruining the Hale name, you're ruining my name, and like the reputation of it. And it's like,
Lo's just not like the who he like who he
right,
envisioned, and so he's like so mad about it.
yeah,
Instead of nurturing Lo to be his individual self, he's like, no, like you're actually supposed to be me 2.0,
yeah, yeah,
and not
and
like Lily 2.0, where it's like she's like bettering herself. Like Jonathan just wants
just wants a
Lo to
replica.
be, yeah.
And so there was like talks of sending Lo away, and
Mm-hmm.
that was why they decided that they were gonna be in a fake relationship. That Lily was going to be the reason that Lo would turn around. Lily was going to be like, "No, I'm laying down the law, and Lo can't do stuff like that." And when in actuality, she's not going to do any of that. But it looks like they are.
Yeah, and in actuality, like Lo, like Lily does do that for Lo, like not like
Yeah.
later on, like again, the foreshadowing where like this is
Yes.
like how it started, but like now like that's actually like no, we're gonna hold ourselves accountable. We're
Yes.
going to be better. We're going to like keep each other like honest and
Yeah.
like we're gonna rely on each other to help one another and not enable.
It took a long time to get to that point, but like they do actually reach that point. And then yeah, it's that's roughly the end of the that's about the end of the book. They
And then Lo comes back. We
yes.
we close out on the eve of Lo coming back.
Yes. Yes. So that is the end of Ricochet. Yeah. So there one trying to find all my words right now. So one, usually there are reader moments, favorite quotes, Roman Empire moments. I haven't I didn't like actually go out and ask for too many from Ricochet. One, I don't think a ton of people have them. I feel like we shared our own favorites, which is
Yeah.
fine with me.
Hmm.
But there was one reader question that was from, it was kind of a tie in with Addicted to You and Ricochet, which was, what are your thoughts on Krista and Becca not including Lo's point of view in this book as well, and like not showcasing Lo's time in rehab, either like in flashbacks or in real time. Touched on this in the Addicted to You podcast with, I think some of it
Hmm.
kind of stemmed from one, at least for me, I know how to write the female experience, and since I mean, I don't know why. I don't think I've ever heard Chris and Becca explain to know what their thought process was. For me, I know the female experience better than the male experience. So if it's like one of my first books that I'm publishing, I'd probably just write from the female perspective. The other thing is that I personally thought that Lily's addiction is harder to understand than Lo's addiction. I think
Hmm.
with books and TV and movies, it's really easy. It's a lot easier for us to understand what alcoholism looks like and to kind of maybe put ourselves more in the headspace of an alcoholic versus a sex addict, and more especially a female sex addict. So I felt
Hmm.
like getting Lily's full perspective on everything kind of helps you sympathize a little more with her. But I was wondering what your thoughts were.
I Addicted to You was written in 2013, right?
Yeah, it was published in 2013.
So during that time in publishing, it was really mainstream to only have the female point of view.
That's what I was also thinking.
So that's what I've always thought, and it was just kind of like a stylistic choice. But also I agree with you about like the like experience and kind of like learning more about sex addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think, and I've never asked Krista or Rebecca, but I almost wonder if like Lo just wouldn't have been a strong voice as he is in Addicted for Now, because he is like he's at his rock bottom too, and like he sleeps a lot.
He does.
Like he like would pass out. And
Yeah,
so
I guess there's something about like being a sex addict versus being an alcoholic, and like
yeah.
as an alcoholic, his perception is just going to be more fuzzy, and yeah, him sleeping and just
And like a little
acting
more
out.
unreliable to where like could we really like account for this happening? And then I think I'm frozen again. Hold on. I think also like for us not to be shown his recovery in rehab, kind like I've never actually thought about it, to be honest, but I think like Ricochet, I always thought of Ricochet as like Lily's moment to like really assert how strong she is. Like we know Lo's strong,
Yeah.
like, but I think this is like really like a point for Lily to grow, because we do learn about Lo's rehab experience in Addicted for Now.
Mm-hmm.
But like I almost like to think of it like when like Lo goes away and like we like they don't have communication or whatnot. Like that's kind of like why
Yeah,
we also don't like we don't see it, because I don't know if it would hit the same if we had Lo's
yeah. I
POV.
think I think it really puts yourself in Lily's position more and
Hmm.
like sympathize with her more if while she's not having contact with Lo, we're also not having contact with Lo.
Yeah, and it's almost like was Lo ready to be a POV in the first two books, or did he need to get better to have clearer like thoughts about the world around him?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
I do
think
think a
what
lot
I
of it
had
probably has to
also
be with
said
like
was
20,
there
like the
are
time it came
certain
out, and it have because there was. I think I'm frozen again.
there are certain moments that I would love to have his point of view from these books,
Yeah.
but I don't know if there is a book's worth of moments. Which is not to say that
Hmm.
like I wouldn't take the mundane kind of moments from him, but
Give us all the low POV ever. We will
I think
happily.
I think plot and structure wise, I think it would be difficult to have like Lo tell a story the way Lily was able to tell her story.
Well, and I think like it goes like having it be in one POV too also talks about like not talks about it also kind of feels like the all consumingness of an addiction.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine like I so like we're like in one like we're like in it with them,
Yeah.
and it might have also been like a little jarring to go back between two of them, like two addictions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Ricochet is Lily's moment to shine.
It
I
is.
don't question it.
No.
It's when she realizes that she's stronger than she is.
I also forgot to talk about they're small, but the bonus material. So I am allowed to talk about the bonus material at the end of the Berkeley books. I have confirmed, but I love the little bonus materials. They're the notes to their future selves.
Oh.
Hello, Lily Calloway from the future. Please tell me aliens exist and they look like characters from Roswell, not the green scary kind. Also, have your powers kicked in? P.S. If time travel has been invented, feel free to come to the past and tell me what happens in the series finale of Teen Wolf. I need to know. Also, the meaning of life and all that stuff Rose would want to know. Okay, thanks.
Honestly, this is why I love Lily. We have the same favorite TV shows.
I love it. And then Lo's note is, Lo, I hope you think this is still lame. From Lo.
I love you.
Rose's note, never lose your confidence. And if you did, you can find them in your closet amongst your heels.
Very
Connor's
true.
note, dear me, congratulations on life. You've won. Best Connor. I love that he best. All right, Daisy's note, dear future Daisy, I hope you're really happy. And when I mean really happy, I mean endless chocolate cake kind of happy. I hope that all the shitty moments in your life are squashed by the good, and I hope that most of my cynical theories are proven wrong. And lastly, I hope someone finally spotted a unicorn. Rike's note, though,
I'm ready to cry.
you better fucking still be there for Lo.
He's such a good brother.
I know. I love him so much.
He's just
He's such a good big brother. He just
he's
wants to
so,
be there for his brother.
and like he love like again like he loves so deeply where he's like
He
he cares about other people like way before he cares about himself.
Yes.
And like you learn that more in like his books, but
Yeah.
to where like you're kind of like don't care about yourself a little.
Well, yeah, I mean, we kind of see it too a little bit in. I
Yeah.
mean, he probably has some confidence in his abilities climbing climbing that cliff. But like,
Hmm.
he could have risked his. He was risking his own life to follow
Yeah.
after Daisy when she was gonna take that jump, and it was. I don't care about my health in this moment. I'm gonna go after Daisy and make
Yeah.
sure that she's okay when she does this crazy thing.
It's always like everyone else before him.
Yeah.
And he's like, as long as they're okay, I'll be okay.
Yeah. I will find a way out of this situation.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready
Is
for
this
the
time for the game?
ready for the trivia quiz? Don't have none of them highlighted. We'll see if we both remember.
Okay.
I can pull it up.
Gonna like show like it's gonna be like, oh, I'm a fake fan. Actually, I don't know any of these answers.
All right. So question 1, what did Lily once do on a dare? Was it A, jump from a tree, B, lick a frog, C, kiss a frog, or D, chug a cup of milk?
Was this in this book?
It was in this book.
I feel like it was the jump the tree, but I feel like any of them could have been her. But I feel like she did she jump out of the tree and break her arm or something? Am I making that up? I probably am making that up.
She's definitely I don't think you're fully making that up, but that's not the answer.
Okay. Is it lick the frog?
You're close.
It's kiss the frog.
Kiss a frog.
Okay, so my initial reaction was like that one seems very obvious. So like let's not do it.
All right. And then what? Hold on.
But I feel
This
like
is
she
the
has
one I
fallen
don't
off
have
something before, and
the.
they have mentioned it.
All right. What does the new Fizz Life uh, logo look like? Is it
Oh, it's black.
A gold can, black bubbles, B black can, gold bubbles, C white can, gold bubbles, or D gold can, white bubbles?
I remember they said they were like the logo was black and gold, but I don't remember if like the new fit like because Fizz Life is new.
Yeah.
So wasn't it white? Did they say it was like white?
It is. How did I do this? Did I get it wrong?
Here, I'm gonna phone the book and I'm gonna look it up.
I'm phoning
Because
the book too because I honestly don't remember.
I remember them talking about the cans, and I remember them saying it was black and gold, but I thought that was the original logo. And then they said like the new like because they were talking about the packaging, how like oh looks really nice, this looks really chic,
I think
and
what I'm
then
confused. Okay, so I think the answer was gold can white bubbles, but I wrote can, and what I meant was writing. Gold writing white bubbles. Completely jacked it all up. It's fine.
it is fine because
Nobody
honestly I
came
wouldn't
into
have
my
gotten that.
messages being like, "Haley, you wrote this quiz wrong" when I posted it the first time.
Hey, I remembered it was white. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what it says. It says a silver a silver can spins in the center with gold writing that reads Fizz Life white bubbles decal at the bottom, no black on the can at all. Because their original logo was like black and
Yeah.
gold.
Yes.
Yeah.
The fizz colors are black and gold.
Yeah.
And I just put can on here because I just wasn't paying attention. I'm so sorry.
That's such a trick question.
I know. Yeah,
That's
that was
so
mean of me.
specific.
And nobody came
No,
in
it
to
wasn't
tell me
mean. It
that I
was
was
just very
wrong.
specific.
Well, okay. One of the reasons is because I do the digital art, and one of the things that I like to do is come up with the logo, what I imagine the logos look like. So I pay attention to stuff like that.
What is your vision of the Fizz Life logo?
I am actually thinking of drawing it soon.
Oh my God, I think you
So
should. That would
you'll
be really
probably
fun.
see there is a version out there that I posted, and I want to update it. But I do have a version of the Fizz can, not Fizz Life, just normal Fizz.
Oh, I'm excited. I love your
But
art.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So next question. Ooh, we went on a tangent with that one. That's fine. Okay. Question 3. This blank is a forever sort of thing. Fill in the blank.
So this love is a forever sort of thing.
You can fill in the
I'm a,
blank if you have
I'm
to.
a fake fan.
This one was hard.
To be fair, like I don't remember like specifics for things. I remember like the big stuff, but like oh this battle is a forever sort of thing. I would have never gotten that. But it makes sense. Like yeah, like no, it ties in. Like I would have if like we were in Rose's point of view. I feel like this battle for sure.
Yes, absolutely. War, battle,
I
fighting.
don't I don't associate battle with Lily Galloway
No.
hyphen Hale.
All right. Here's an easy one. What does LVD stand for? LVD.
I'm not gonna lie, it's probably really easy, but like I just have like little black dress in my head. That's all I can like. And I'm like, and that's
V,
the
the
only
letter
thing taking
V.
up space. Okay, hold on. I have to consult the book because I'm just a fake fan. I'm so sorry. I haven't read these books ever a day in my life. A Lily Found Day. Of course it is.
Yes.
Of course it is. I've never read these books a day in my life. Clearly.
Okay.
To be
Next
fair,
one.
I'm also rereading Addicted for now, so like
Yeah.
I'm more so in that than
Yeah.
Ricochet right now.
Oh yeah.
So,
I mean, as
but
soon
still,
as like I said, I feel like I wrote these, and then again, I'm sitting here like I wrote the Fizz Life one, and I don't even remember what the answer was.
fake fans, just fake fans all around. This
Okay.
is why you reread to remember.
Absolutely. Gotta keep my memory fresh. All right. Question 5. I never said it would be the right thing. It's just a different kind of wrong. Who says this to whom? Was it A. Connor to Rose, B. Dr. Banning to Lily, C. Lily to Lo, or D. Reich to Lily?
Okay, well, we talked about this earlier, so like this is like a gimme question, but it was right to Lily.
Correct.
Yes, got one.
You're doing so great.
I'm winning.
You are. You get a gold star.
Thank you.
All right. Question 6. A starts clapping. B lets out a whistle with his fingers, and C gives me a smile. Who is A, B, and C? Is it A is Connor, B is Reich, C is Rose? Is it A is Rose, B is Reich, C is Connor? A is Reich, B is Connor, C is Rose? Or A is Rose, B is Connor, C is Reich?
So before you even said it, like gave me the options, I like Reich immediately is whistling. So I my initial thing was Connor, Reich, Rose, but I'm like would Rose just smile at her sister? Or would she clap for her sister? And then Connor, I like would Connor clap or would Connor just smile and be like, "You did it." So like this is like my like watch it like Reich not even be the one that
I
whistles.
know. I think I picked this one because I was like, I'll admit this one was also a mean one because I don't necessarily know whether I would classify these as exactly the way they would
They would act. So
they would
like
act.
does Reich not whistle? Does Reich clap? Connor whistles and then Rose smiles.
Yes.
Okay. See, okay, because as soon as you started naming, I was like, Reich probably doesn't whistle,
Yeah, no. Well,
but Reich
I
would be
can't
the one to
imagine
whistle.
Connor whistling. Connor's not the one that like whistles and is loud.
But is Connor like channeling
Yes.
what Lily needs,
Yeah,
like
that's
that
true.
excitement? But no, like I can immediately see like Reich whistling because Reich whistles on other every other book.
Yeah, I
Okay,
know.
so I got that one though
All right. This last one,
after some lead.
this last one is easy. If you know how I set up all of these, I promise
It could be
Pain,
easy. I just could not be like smart.
it's okay. Pain, happiness, joy, and hurt blank from each path taken and from each memory uncovered. Fill in the blank.
Oh, Ricochet?
Ricochet is the answer. I for all of these trivia quizzes, I try and leave one of if the title is in the book somewhere, I try and make that a question.
I'm like, what in the Rose Calloway of philosophy are we doing?
Yes, it is Ricochet. You did good.
Thank you. That was very fun. I really, that was really fun.
I like torturing readers with their knowledge.
But like, no, that was really fun.
Okay.
I genuinely love this book so much. So, like, thank
Yeah.
you for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for being here, for being my second guinea pig on the
Oh my God,
podcast, helping me
I
work
loved it. It
out
was so much fun.
all of the kinks. Thank you to all of the listeners thank you to all of the listeners listening to us ramble and talk about this book. I appreciate all of you for giving me a platform to be able to talk
We love
about.
you, Haley.
Oh, thank you. And be sure to continue staying addicted to Krista and Becca's writing like us.
Yeah, I love